What's up, everyone? This is the Next Day podcast with Mikel
And Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. Basically, we have a bonus episode for this week, and Tanika will present us with the topics.
Yep. So as we always do, we'll just kind of go through it as we go. No set. We're not gonna do like what we do with our other episodes where I list them. We just kind of go through
Uh-huh.
them. Um, so the first topic. So this is kind of more of a fun topic, but it's a little. It's happened in the last month or so. But
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
um, did you hear about the whole situation? I feel like we might have touched on it very, very, very briefly, but
Mhm.
did you hear about the whole Jagmeet Singh and Drake drama?
Jerry Sam.
Jagmeet,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I heard, and originally I heard about it on the radio, CHFI,
Uh-huh.
was the first place I heard it. But then I found an article, so we can kind of go through it for those
Uh-huh.
people who don't know what happened
Yeah,
or
yeah.
what. So Jagmeet Singh, who again was the NDP leader, he's no longer the NDP leader, but he was,
Uh-huh.
um, is apologizing. Okay, he is apologizing for attending a Kendrick Lamar concert in Toronto after being called out by Drake and spotted by fans inside the Rogers Centre. First of all, why do you need to apologize for attending a concert? Now, I know about the beef between Drake and Kendrick,
Uh-huh.
but this is ridiculous. Y'all grown. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
he should be
yeah.
able to go to a concert if he wants to.
It's because saw him um saw him in the concert,
And
and
my
yeah,
point is, so what? You know?
I think he was with his wife, and
Yeah, I'm sure he was
he
with
co
somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he was confirmed that he didn't he wasn't there for Kendrick, he was there for SZA, basically. So
Right, I heard about that. And maybe it
yeah.
touches on the article, but yes, I do recall he did mention that.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
And I think because like him and Drake follow each
uh-huh,
other,
uh-huh,
that's why like
yeah,
Drake like calls him out. But it's
uh-huh.
like my biggest thing, listen, I know there's the beef, I get it. Um, I think Drake, okay, I'm a Drake fan. I'm well, very loosely Drake fan at this point in my life.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, and Kendrick, I mean, I haven't really followed his career very closely. I did watch his Super Bowl performance and I did enjoy it.
mhm.
Um, but it's to me, it's like you guys are grown. And honestly, I'm pointing it more at Drake than Kendrick, to be totally honest with you. Because like for me,
Uh,
Kendrick is like not really a part of this beef between Drake and Jack Meat.
it,
Drake is being, honestly, excuse my
to
language here, but he's being a little bit of a bitch ass, in my honest opinion.
to be fair, it wasn't neither of the two. It was mostly the fans, and people were just
Right.
basically the fan bases just trying to, like,
But
actually more
Drake,
so
Drake fueled the
Drake's
fire.
fans, because like he feels like, you're betraying, if you're watching somebody from America, you're betraying Drake from Canada. And then
Mhm.
yes, and then Drake kind of escalated it a little bit, I would say,
Right, and that's what I
because
mean.
he responded in
Right.
a
Yeah,
towards his DM, saying that he's a
that's what I'm
goof.
getting at. I don't expect anything less from the fans, because the fans, listen, we've grown up in a time like this is
Uh-huh,
maybe one of like the more modernized beefs, and
uh,
I think honestly, like probably a very real one
uh,
in comparison to ones that we've kind of experienced in like teenage to 20s, right? When
uh-huh,
we seen
uh-huh.
like different artists beef like this. Um,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, you can really hop on the bandwagon of these beefs and get really tied up into it. So I don't expect the fans to not be tied up into this beef. That
Uh-huh.
part doesn't like bother me.
Yeah.
It's to be expected, honestly,
Uh-huh.
because the artists of who is the head of those beefs,
Uh-huh.
they're doing what they're doing to fuel that, right? So I don't expect anything less from them. But this
Yeah.
to me has been going on for so long at this point where, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm sorry, sir, listen, maybe you're mad because Kendrick, like, as far as I'm concerned, dragged your ass without really saying your name at the
Uh-huh.
Super Bowl
Uh-huh.
performance.
Uh-huh.
But let's be
Uh-huh.
fair, he really did. Maybe
Uh-huh.
you're a little bit mad about that. I don't know. But any person who you deem should be on your side just because we're born in the same province or the
Uh-huh.
same country, um, doesn't mean that we're not going to attend a concert because
Uh-huh.
you don't like that person.
Uh-huh.
So that's my thing. It's my thing is Drake is fueling the issue.
Uh-huh.
And to me, like being like I said, a bitch ass as
Uh-huh.
far as
Uh-huh.
I'm
Uh-huh.
concerned.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember exactly what he said. Maybe it's in the article, but I do recall he kind of does, I don't know if it's like name calling or like coming at Jagmeet Singh for like, attending the concert, but whatever he said to him, I'm just like, are we like for real? I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
but Drake is grown. He is a
Uh-huh.
father. This is ridiculous. Like, it has to get to a point, like, be mad at him. I don't care. Be mad at each other. Don't like
Uh-huh.
each other. I'm perfectly fine with that. But it gets to a point where it's like, you're not going to stop someone from attending someone else's concert
Uh-huh.
because that's just not how this works.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I
so
agree.
dumb.
I agree.
It's so dumb to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so the former federal NDP leader issued an apology
Uh-huh.
only hours after Drake posted a screenshot of an Instagram direct message to Singh where the rapper called him a goof. So that's what it comes down to. And again,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
he's a goof because he attended a concert. Like,
Uh-huh.
grow up. Um, so Jagmeet said, quote, I went for SZA, not
Uh-huh.
Kendrick.
Uh-huh.
Who goes to a concert for the opener? Just the opener. Like,
Yeah.
that's not usually what people do. They usually
Well,
go for the
basic.
headliner.
Well, to be fair, so SZA and Kendrick are basically they've been torn around with each other. To
Yeah.
be, with
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah. But I'm imagining SZA is his opener, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no one is going. Again, I would imagine an opener doesn't usually go for very long in comparison to the headliner. So who is going to a concert for the opener, but not the headliner? That is ridiculous. And
I mean, there's a lot
Scar,
of. I mean, there's. Yeah, both. I would say both. There's a
no,
lot of
you could
SEAL
go
fans.
for
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my thought process is like, for
Yeah.
example, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
I'll use this
Uh-huh.
as an example.
Yeah.
Let's say, now obviously Cardi B is way bigger than this now, but let's say back in the day when she wasn't as big as she is today. Let's say
Uh-huh.
that she was opening for Bruno Mars. Okay. People who have done music together, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I'd use those
Uh-huh.
two.
Uh-huh.
I'm obviously going for Bruno Mars with the added bonus of seeing Cardi B.
Uh-huh.
But if there are people who are maybe mainly Bruno fans, you have to
Yeah.
bite your lip while you're, you know, just deal with Cardi B in the process. I
Mhm.
don't imagine there's a lot of people. Now, again, in the beginning of her career, way, way, way in the beginning of her career, so put that in your mind. I don't imagine a lot of people early on in her career when she's still up and coming are going to say, I'm just going for Cardi B not going for Bruno Mars. That is ridiculous. No, you're going maybe for both,
Huh.
or maybe just for the headliner. But
Uh-huh.
very rarely are people going to spend money just so they can see the opening, or really just to enjoy just the opening.
Huh.
Concerts are
Well,
a lot of money. No one's doing
true.
that.
True.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for Jack Meat saying to say
Uh-huh.
I was just going for SZA. Now SZA,
Uh-huh.
she's
She's very
big.
pop. No,
She's
yeah,
very popular.
yeah, she
She's
has
big.
two. Her first two albums went, I think, Diamond, I believe.
Yeah, no, she's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
She's been she's been a part of this music industry for many, 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 many years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's not like new to the game.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
but
So,
she's been collaborating with people for, I would say, the better part of
so, ho-
5+
yeah.
years.
So
So
her
she's very
original,
popular.
yeah. So her original label was with TDE.
Who?
So Top Dog Entertainment. That's Kendrick.
Okay.
She was Kendrick Lamar's
Oh,
old mate. Yeah.
okay. That makes sense.
I don't know if she still is under TDE.
I don't know.
But I know Kendrick Lamar left a long time ago.
Okay.
Like I feel like 3 years ago he
Okay.
left
Okay.
because he went to pursue his own label.
Hmm.
But yeah,
She could have gone
but
with
she
him. She could have gone potentially. Could have gone with him. We don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think like he's good. I think Kendrick's good with like
Hmm.
everybody in that camp of TDE because
Hmm.
TDE uh I know I don't know the CEO, but like basically I know of the CEO. I know the name. I know the name of the CEO, and the name
Hmm.
of the CEO is his name is Punch. He owns TDE.
Hmm.
He's good with Kendrick.
Hmm.
Kendrick wanted to do his own
He
thing,
left on
a
good
separate.
terms.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So like basically he can do collaborations with
Hmm.
with like anybody in the TDE. So
Okay.
anybody like you know in that label. So like
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but again, like she's been around for a long time. She's done
yeah,
music with,
yeah.
many people. She's does her
Yeah,
own thing.
yeah,
Yeah, she's popular. So yeah, sure, you might want to be like, yeah, I want to go see SZA. Um, but it's like the main act is not SZA. The
mhm,
main act is Kendrick.
mhm,
And as popular as Kendrick Lamar was popular already.
mhm,
Trust me, I know that. Even though, like I
mhm,
said, I haven't followed his career, but I know he is popular.
mhm,
Kendrick Lamar blew the up after the Super Bowl performance, which was why, like, for me, I was like, I really want to watch his performance, and I did, and I'm like, his performance is incredible. Even though, like, I don't know the music, I don't know anything like that, and obviously, I went in kind of knowing the little tidbits already, but I thought his performance was incredible. So he
uh,
blew up. So I'm sorry, but I don't believe you that you went for SZA. I think you went for Kendrick with the
uh-huh,
added bonus of SZA.
uh-huh,
And that's what I think. And I
uh-huh,
personally think he should have stuck to his guns and
uh-huh,
been like, listen, you two hating each other ain't my business.
uh-huh,
I don't care. I'm going for the music. That's
uh-huh,
it.
uh-huh,
I don't care about your beef, his beef. I don't care. I'm going for the music.
yeah,
And that should be okay as well. And I'm
yeah,
sorry, like, a lot of people have always kind of said that Drake is, acted like an idiot in many
uh-huh, uh-huh,
points
uh-huh,
of his life and his
uh-huh,
career.
uh-huh,
This is no exception in my honest opinion. Um,
uh-huh, yeah,
he needs to grow up. Like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know how old Drake is like I haven't
he's
really paid attention to him. Um,
he's 37,
I'm
30,
about to check right now, trust me, because like I'm like, well, sir, he is 38 years old. You are
38,
almost
yeah,
40, sir. Grow
uh-huh,
up,
uh-huh,
please. We have bigger fish to fry in this world, and you're so upset that someone went to a Kendrick Lamar concert.
uh-huh, uh-huh,
We have so much more going on in this country that we don't have time for this. Like, this is
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
Um,
And also,
but go ahead.
speaking of concerts that
Mhm.
happened recently,
Oh my God, I think I know what you're gonna say. What are we
yes,
talking about?
Coldplay.
Yes. Okay, I am
Yeah,
talking Coldplay. Let me finish the article, and then we'll just jump into the Coldplay stuff because
yeah, yeah,
listen,
yeah,
oh, I have so
yeah,
much to say. Okay,
yeah,
let me
yeah. Go
finish
ahead.
this. Okay, so photos of Singh at the show had already surfaced online, with some even appearing in US media coverage.
Uh-huh,
It's unclear which night he attended of, like, with
uh-huh,
Kendrick's concert. Like, I remember him being here, but I don't remember, like, how many
uh-huh,
days he was here.
uh-huh,
But the timing was notable.
uh-huh.
Lamar's two-night stop with SZA marked his first visit to Toronto since his high-profile feud with Drake began.
Yeah.
So, just trying to see what else is here, before we go on. Okay, so we're basically talking about, like, the Super Bowl performance and stuff, so we don't
Uh-huh,
have to go more into that, but, yeah, I'm just to me, like I said, it's just irritating
uh-huh.
to kind of see these 2 men feuding over a
Yeah,
feud, and it's like,
yeah,
"This is
yeah.
stupid."
Drake's gonna know that he's like he's a politician, so like he
Yeah,
watches. He's allowed to watch anything and watch things. He's
exactly.
an adult. He's
As Drake is supposed
you
to be.
I understand like basically you done so much for Toronto slash Canada in general. Like you helped you did a lot, but it
Yeah,
doesn't
but we don't
mean
owe you
yeah
because of
yeah
that,
yeah. I
you
mean
know? We don't owe you because of that.
hmm hmm
Yes, great, thanks so much for putting,
hmm
not only Canada, but Toronto on the
yeah
map. It's like,
yeah yeah. Plus
not that it wasn't already, but it's
yeah
just like,
yeah
thanks, but we don't then owe you. We're not indebted to
yeah
you because of it.
yeah yeah.
It's stupid.
Plus, he has a wife that enjoys. I think he has a wife that enjoys scissors as well. I believe, in my opinion. So, like,
Yeah, I think a
Jeremy
lot of
Singh, yeah.
people,
So, like,
especially, yeah, women do love SZA, and
yeah,
so
yeah,
do
yeah. So,
men, and yeah, but again,
uh-huh,
women and men also like Kendrick's music as
uh-huh,
well, so it's
uh-huh,
like, sure, yeah, you can go for SZA,
uh-huh,
but, like, I can't imagine, like, her set is any longer than, like, an hour,
uh-huh.
and then, like, Kendrick's set's, like, 2.5 to 3 hours long.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
not going just for SZA, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm,
you're just
mm-hmm.
not. There's just
Yeah,
no way.
yeah. Just true.
Hi, everyone. So I'm just coming in to discuss some um, articles that we're gonna do, sans Mikel, um, as we normally do with most of the bonus episodes now. So this is pertaining to RFK Jr. oust's entire CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee. This is as of June 9th, just so everyone's aware. So, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. removed every member of a scientific committee that advises the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on how to use vaccines and pledged to replace them with his own picks. That's terrifying. Major physicians and public health groups criticized the move to oust all 17 members of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. Kennedy, who was one of the nation's leading anti-vaccine activists before becoming the nation's top health official, has not said who he would appoint to the panel, but said it would convene in just 2 weeks in Atlanta. So by the time you're hearing this, it's already happened. So there could be a potential update. We'll see how that goes. Although it's typically not viewed as a partisan board, the Biden administration had installed the entire committee. Quote, without removing the current members, the current Trump administration would not have been able to appoint a majority of new members until 2028. Kennedy wrote in a Wall Street Journal opinion piece, a clean sweep is needed to reestablish public confidence in vaccine science. Kennedy said the committee members had too many conflicts of interest. Currently, committee members are required to declare any potential such conflicts, as well as business interests that arise during their tenure. They also must disclose any possible conflicts at the start of each public meeting. Dr. Tom Frieden, president and CEO of Resolve to Save Lives and former director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, said Kennedy's actions were based on false conflict of interest claims and said a dangerous and unprecedented action that makes our families less safe by potentially reducing vaccine access for millions of people. Quote, make no mistake, politicizing the ACIP, as Secretary Kennedy is doing, will undermine public trust under the guise of improving it. This is what he said in a statement. We'll look back at this as a grave mistake that sacrificed decades of scientific rigor, undermined public trust, and opened the door for fringe theories rather than facts. Dr. Georges Benjamin, executive director of the American Public Health Association, called Kennedy's mass ouster a coup. Quote, it's not how democracies work. It's not good for the health of the nation, Benjamin told the Associated Press. Benjamin said the move raises real concerns about whether future committee members will be viewed as impartial. He added that Kennedy is going against what he told lawmakers and the Public Health Association plans to watch Kennedy like a hawk. He's breaking a promise, Benjamin said. He said he wasn't going to do this. But can we trust anything this man has said? Really? No. Dr. Bruce A. Scott, president of the American Medical Association, called the committee a trusted source of science and data-driven advice and said Kennedy's move, coupled with declining vaccination rates across the country, will help drive an increase in vaccine-preventable diseases. Today's action to remove the 17 sitting members of the ACIP undermines that trust and upends a transparent process that has saved countless lives. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, a doctor who had expressed reservations about Kennedy's nomination but voted to install him as the nation's health secretary nonetheless, said he had spoken with Kennedy moments after the announcement, saying, quote, of course, now the fear is that the ACIP will be filled up with people who know nothing about vaccines except suspicion. This is what Cassidy said in a social media post. I've just spoken with Secretary Kennedy, and I'll continue to talk with him to ensure this is not the case. The committee had been in a state of flux since Kennedy took over. Its first meeting this year had been delayed when the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services abruptly postponed its February meeting. During Kennedy's confirmation, Cassidy had expressed concerns about preserving the committee, saying he had sought assurances that Kennedy would keep the panel's current vaccine recommendations. Kennedy did not stick to that, clearly. He recently took the unusual step of changing COVID-19 recommendations without first consulting the advisors. The webpage that featured the committee's members was deleted as of June 9th, the evening of June 9th, I should say, shortly after Kennedy's announcement. So here's my thing. My thing with this is you can have your views on vaccines and whether you're anti-vaccine or for them or somewhere in the middle. They're just that, though. They're opinions. And when you are a person in, well, in a position of being a leader and, being in control of things like this, your opinion means, honestly, your opinion doesn't mean anything. You can be an anti-vaxxer all you want, but that doesn't mean that your citizens are all going to be thinking the same way you do. And allow the people to make their decisions. That is a democracy. So, yeah. So that's basically that. So while we're on the wave of the CDC right now, the CDC has confirmed 21 hospitalizations as Salmonella outbreak spreads in West and Midwest states. Again, this is as of June 7th. So, a salmonella outbreak tied to a major egg recall has sickened dozens across 7 states in the West and Midwest, federal health officials have said. Roughly 1.7 million brown organic and brown cage-free eggs were recalled by the August Egg Company. The eggs distributed to grocery stores between February and May were pulled due to the risk of salmonella contamination, according to an announcement on the Food and Drug Administration's website. At least 79 people across 7 states have been infected with a salmonella strain linked to the eggs, and 21 have been hospitalized. This said by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The recall affects eggs sold in Arizona, California, Illinois, Indiana, Nebraska, New Mexico, Nevada, Washington, and Wyoming. Brand names, plant codes, and Julian dates related to the recall are listed on the FDA and CDC websites if you want to figure that out if potentially your eggs are contaminated. And again, we don't have this here in Canada where eggs are as expensive as it is in the States. Um, so I do hear that it's very expensive in the States. I mean, my God, you're spending an arm and a leg on eggs, and this is what happens. Salmonella symptoms, in case you are confused of what that could be, include diarrhea, fever, vomiting, dehydration, and stomach cramps. Most people recover within a week, so it could feel like, a stomach bug or like a stomach flu. However, the infection can be more serious for young children, older adults, and those with weakened immune systems who may need hospital care. The CDC urges consumers to discard any recalled eggs or return them to the place of purchase. Surfaces that came into contact with the eggs should also be washed and disinfected. So, definitely check if you think you might have eggs that have potentially been recalled. And yeah, do that. Anyway, let's move on to another piece of information that we haven't really talked about on this podcast very much. I haven't really been fully following this, but obviously, like, I know about this. And I actually just recently, actually just tonight, watched this movie, and it was a really good movie. But we're talking about the lawsuit between Justin Baldoni um, and Blake Lively, which was dismissed by a federal judge. So here's how this has gone. So Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against Blake Lively was dismissed by a federal judge in New York. I think this is past week now. This is as of June 9th. So the It Ends With Us co-stars have been in a heated legal feud since December of 2024. So in his motion, Judge Louis J. Lehman dismissed Justin Baldoni's $400 million countersuit against Lively. Her husband, Ryan Reynolds, sir, excuse me, what are we doing here? Anyways, the couple's publicist, Leslie Sloan, as well as Baldoni's defamation claim against the New York Times. Quote, the alleged facts indicate that the Times reviewed the available evidence and reported, perhaps in a dramatized manner, what I believe to have happened. The Times had no obvious motive to favor Lively's version of events. Baldoni has until June 23rd to refile some of his claims. Lively's lawyers Ezra Hudson and Mike Gottlieb called the dismissal a total victory and complete vindication for Blake Lively, along with those that Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties dragged into their retaliatory lawsuit, including Ryan Reynolds, Lisa Salone, and the New York Times. Quote, as we have said from day one, this $400 million lawsuit was a sham, and the court saw right through it. The statement continued, we look forward to the next round, which is seeking attorney's fees, treble damages, and punitive damages against Baldoni, Sorot's, whatever, Nathan, and the other Wayfarer parties who perpetrated this abusive litigation. Good Morning America has reached out to Baldoni's lawyers for comment. So, in case you're like me and you don't know the full situation here, what's going on, here we go. There's background. So Lively first filed a complaint on December 20th, 2024, against Baldoni with the California Civil Rights Department, accusing him of sexual harassment on the set of the film, which he also directed. Yes, he did. Baldoni responded on December 31st, 2024, with the now dismissed lawsuit against the New York Times for libel and false light invasion of privacy after it published the article about Lively's California complaint. The lawsuit claimed the Times, which included in its article alleged text messages and email exchanges between Baldoni's publicist, Jennifer Abel, and Melissa Nathan, and the newspaper had relied on cherry-picked and altered communications with details stripped of necessary context and deliberately spliced to mislead. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, said at the time that the Times, quote, cowered to the wants and whims of two powerful, untouchable Hollywood elites, disregarding journalistic practices and ethics once befitting of the revered publication by using doctored and manipulated texts and intentionally omitting texts which dispute their chosen PR narrative. A New York Times spokesperson told GMA at the time that they, quote, plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. In response to Lehman's dismissal of Baldoni's lawsuit against the newspaper, a spokesperson for the New York Times told Good Morning America in a statement, quote, we are grateful to the court for seeing the lawsuit for what it was, a meritless attempt to stifle honest reporting. The spokesperson added, quote, our journalists went out and covered carefully and fairly a story of public importance, and the court recognized that the law is designed to protect just that sort of journalism. We will continue to stand up in court for our journalism and for our journalists when their work comes under attack. The same day Baldoni filed his lawsuit against the Times, Lively formalized details from her California complaint into a lawsuit against Baldoni and other defendants for sexual harassment. Baldoni denied the allegations and he formally filed his $400 million civil lawsuit in January against Lively Reynolds, which I don't understand why Ryan Reynolds is even a part of this, but it is what that is. Salone and Salone's public relations company Vision PR for, among other things, extortion and defamation. The suit claimed Lively pushed a, quote, false and damaging narrative against Baldoni that was rife with lies and doctored evidence in accusing him of sexual harassment on the set of It Ends With Us. It also accused Salone of spreading malicious stories portraying Baldoni as a sexual predator and Reynolds of using the term to describe Baldoni in a call with Baldoni's agent, which Baldoni claims led to his rep dropping him as a client. Furthermore, Baldoni's suit claimed he and the other plaintiffs listed were the targets of a calculated and vitriolic smear campaign by Reynolds and Lively. Lively's lawyers responded at the time to Baldoni's lawsuit and called it another chapter in the abuser playbook. Since then, attorneys for the It Ends With Us co-stars have launched dueling campaigns against each other. In March, Lively and Reynolds each filed a motion to dismiss Baldoni's complaint against them. Lyman's decision to dismiss Baldoni's countersuit against Lively and Reynolds comes a few days after Daily Mail reporter James, I think it's Vitsaska, admitted to a mistake at the use of the phrase sexual assaults in text messages between him and Salone. In his complaint, Baldoni's lawyers claimed that Salone told the reporter Lively was sexually assaulted, an unsubstantiated accusation that not even Lively had gone so far as to claim, designed to destroy Baldoni and his reputation. Vitsaska said in his sworn declaration that Salone never told me that Miss Lively was sexually harassed or sexually assaulted by Justin Baldoni or anyone else, that the Wayfair parties and their counsel did not consult me about what I meant by my use of the term sexually assaulted. A statement shared by Salone's lawyer said that Salone is fully vindicated by Vitsaska's declaration. Lehman's decision to toss Baldoni's countersuit also follows the judge allowing Lively to not present evidence or make any claims of emotional distress, which was initially included in her filing against Baldoni in December. So, I mean, I don't know if I will necessarily continue talking about this moving forward. I'll see kind of how things go. Um, but yeah, it's real interesting. I don't know, but we'll see how that goes. But um, let's move on to the next article. So this is of June 7th. FDA has announced more cucumbers ready-to-eat products were called in growing salmonella outbreak. So this is kind of, I guess, piggybacking off of the eggs situation. So a Maryland food company has recalled salsa and cucumber products because they were made with cucumbers that are possibly contaminated with salmonella. So TGD Cuts LLC of Jessup, Maryland, is recalling some tub and tray products because they contained cucumbers from, I think it's Boynton Beach, Florida-based Bedner Growers Inc., which have been linked to salmonella outbreak. TGD Cuts distributed the affected products, which included salsas, sliced cucumbers, and cucumber spears, to retail and food service locations in Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and North Carolina, according to the Food and Drug Administration. The products had use by dates ranging from May 20th to May 28th and are unlikely to be in stores or being used. No illnesses have been reported in connection with the products, the FDA said. The initial May 19th recall involved cucumbers sold directly to consumers at Bednar's Farm Fresh Market, according to notices published May 19th by the CDC and the FDA. Subsequent recalls have been announced by grocers such as Harris Teeter, Kroger, and Walmart for repackaged cucumbers for resale under different brand names or those used in ready-to-eat products, including vegetable trays and salads. The cucumbers distributed by Fresh Start Produce Sales of Delray, Florida, also led to Target recalling individual cucumbers on May 30th, um, in particular cucumber 2 packs and various prepared food products. In addition to the growing cucumber-related recall, other products have been recalled recently for potential salmonella contamination. The FDA on May 28th upgraded a recall of tomatoes distributed in 3 southern states to a Class 1 recall, meaning consumption of the food could cause serious health complications or lead to death. Then on June 6th, the CDC and FDA linked brown eggs, as we just discussed, sold in 9 states, including some Walmart stores, to an ongoing salmonella enter, enteritis outbreak, in which 79 people have been sickened and at least 21 hospitalized. Customers who purchase any products from TGD Cuts should get rid of them or return them for a full refund. So we have a list here of the stuff. I think that's not too bad. So I can go through them and just note it down if you need to, if you've used any of these products. So salsa, which is the hot salsa, it's about 6 12 ounces or whatever. The UPC number is 840-219-170-534, and it has a use by date of May 25th, 2025. Next, salsa, this time mild, UPC number of 840-219-170-541, and also has a use by date of May 25th, 2025. Salsa mild, this is a 5 pound one, has a UPC number of 840-219-140-445. Use by date is not available for this one though. Salsa mild, well, it's actually, oh no, this is weird. It has the same UPC number for this one, but it has a use by date for May 28th, 2025. So I'm still confusing there. Cucumber slice or grape tomato. Um, this one has a UPC number of 840-219 184784 and has a use by date of May 23rd, 2025. Cucumber sliced, unpeeled, 5 pounds. This has a UPC number of 840-219-160733, and the use by date is not available. We have a smaller container of cucumber slice unpeeled. This one is 840-219-170657 and has a use by date of May 19th, 2025. And last but not least, cucumber spears. This one has a UPC number of 840-219-179971 and has a use by date of May 19th, 2025. So we did kind of talk about this a little bit in the last article we talked about with the eggs, but just in case you need to hear it again. So salmonella poisoning causes about 1.35 million illnesses, 26,500 hospitalizations, and 420 deaths each year in the US, according to the CDC and FDA. Symptoms, which include diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps, will usually occur 6 hours to 6 days after exposure and may last up to 7 days. Symptoms from severe infections may include aches, headaches, elevated fever, lethargy, rashes, and blood in urine or stool. So, if you, again, potentially had any ready to eat type products at any of the stores mentioned previously, or if you're experiencing anything like that, just get to a doctor, nearest hospital. Um, yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this one is this is a Florida one, okay. A Florida man convicted of posing as a flight attendant to score more than 100 free flights. So, a federal jury has convicted a 35-year-old South Florida man who fraudulently booked more than 120 free airline flights by posing as a flight attendant, the U.S. Department of Justice announced not too long ago. This is as of June 11th. Tyron Alexander was found guilty on June 5th of wire fraud and unlawfully entering a secure airport from under false pretenses. Prosecutors said Alexander exploited a program intended for airline staff, using it to board 34 flights without paying between 2018 and 2024. My God. According to evidence presented at trial, Alexander submitted false information through an airline carrier's employee flight booking system. He falsely claimed to be a flight attendant with 7 different airlines, providing roughly 30 fake badge numbers and hire dates. Authorities said he successfully used the system to travel dozens of times at no cost. Jurors also learned that Alexander impersonated a flight attendant on 3 other airline carriers, further expanding the scope of his scheme. Alexander is scheduled to be sentenced on August 25th, and he faces up to 30 years in federal prison. The case was investigated by the TSA Atlanta field office. U.S. Attorney Hayden P. O'Brien and Supervisory Air Marshal in charge Antonio L. Pittman announced the conviction. Assistant U.S. Attorneys Michael C. Shepard, Zachary A. Keller, and Andres E. Chinchilla are handling the prosecution. So I'll see if there is an update for that a little later on. But I mean, hey, the man's smart. Like, honestly. Um, honestly, this gives me a little bit of a catch me if you can type feels. You know what I mean? Amazing. Anyways, that's it for kind of that. So this one is again just a look into what's kind of going on with the immigration stuff in the states. I am planning, because I'm recording this early, I am planning on talking about kind of what happened in California. By the time you're hearing this would have been last month. So I'll kind of see if we can maybe talk about that with Mikel, in, in a bit. So this one is as of June 17th. Federal agents arrest an NYC mayoral candidate at immigration court. So, New York City's top financial officer, who is running to be its next mayor, was handcuffed and arrested by federal agents while guiding a defendant out of immigration court. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, agents detained Brad Lander, who is the city's comptroller, for assaulting law enforcement and impeding a federal officer, a spokesperson said. Lander, who was later released, said he certainly did not assault an officer. The incident comes amid an immigration crackdown under President Donald Trump, who has directed agents to conduct raids and deport immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally. Videos of the incident show Lander leading a man through the hallway and requesting that the agents show a judicial warrant to detain them. A spokesperson for Lander's campaign said the comptroller was escorting a defendant out of immigration court when he was arrested. "You don't have authority to arrest U.S. citizens," Lander is heard telling ICE agents in the video as they put him in handcuffs, which I would think, no, they don't. But ICE said Lander was undermining officials. Quote, "Our heroic ICE law enforcement officers face a 413% increase in assaults against them. It is wrong that politicians seeking higher office undermine law enforcement safety to get a viral moment," said by Homeland Security spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin told the BBC. Quote, "No one is above the law." Really? Really interesting coming from hearing this from them when your president thinks he's above the law. Anyway, let's continue. And if you lay a hand on a law enforcement officer, you will face consequences. Upon his release, Lander said that no charges were being brought against him. The comptroller said the man, who he identified as a man named, I think it's Edgardo, quote, "has been stripped of his due process rights by a government and a judge that owe him a credible threat hearing before they deport him. I will be fine, but Edgardo is not going to be fine. And the rule of law is not fine. And our constitutional democracy is not fine," Lander said, referring to the man he was trying to escort out of immigration court. New York Attorney General Letitia James called the arrest profoundly unacceptable. Quote, "Arresting Comptroller Lander for the simple act of standing up for immigrants and their civil rights in a shocking abuse is a shocking abuse of power," she said in a statement. "No one should face fear and intimidation in a courthouse, and this is a grotesque escalation of tensions. The administration's rampant targeting of New Yorkers only makes our communities less safe." New York Civil Liberties Union Executive Director Donna Lieberman called on elected officials and candidates for office to condemn the arrest. Quote, "ICE arresting Brad Lander for asking questions is a stunning abuse of power and a threat to our democracy. Arresting a public official, the duly elected comptroller of the city of New York, for asking questions is dangerous intimidation and shows a wanton disregard for the will of the people of New York. It sends an unmistakably authoritarian message that ICE doesn't care about the rule of law and that anyone exercising their right to challenge ICE and speak up for immigrants will be punished." Trump's immigration crackdown has included cross-country raids and an increasing number of deportations, and also sparked days of protests against ICE, particularly in Los Angeles, which I said we will talk about very soon. So, next article, this one's a bit of an interesting one. Um, so this as of June 17th, criminal charges against former 911 operator dropped. Fined on FOIP, 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 and convictions instead. So I'm going to talk about this because I didn't hear about this before. So criminal charges have been dropped against a former Calgary 911 operator accused of sharing sensitive police information with gang members. Marion, oh, that's a name, Bon and Country. On Country. I'll spell it for y'all so y'all know the name. Bunincontri. She's 58 at the time. What was 58 at the time? Was charged with breach of trust, fraudulent use of a computer system, and mischief relating to police data. She instead pleaded guilty to 3 counts under the Freedom of Information Act. Police allege data was pulled from searches related to people involved in organized crime and then given to others also in organized crime. Our 911 operator here is now ordered to pay $10,000 for each of the 3 Freedom of Information convictions. She had been employed by the city's 911 services as a taker. She was arrested in January 2023 and released uncharged as an investigation continued. Charges were laid at a later date and announced by police in January of 2024. Police said at the time her activities were discovered when officers were conducting an unrelated investigation in December of 2022. I mean, I have questions like, why was she doing this? Clearly, it wasn't for good reasons. So, what was the motive here? It's weird. But that's all I have on that. Um, Next piece, this is a continuation of one that we did on in our June bonus episode. So there's a little bit of an update. There's going to be 3 more beer store locations to shut down this summer in Ontario. So, following a number of beer store closures recently, including multiple this past Sunday, this was as of June 17th, so this was still a month ago, at least 30 more locations are set to shut down this summer. The company has made announcements about 3 separate rounds of closures set for July and August. The decisions come amid the expanded alcohol marketplace in Ontario. Last year, thousands of convenience stores as well as additional grocery stores were permitted to start selling booze except for spirits. The changes expanded Ontario's alcohol market well beyond the 2 main stores where consumers were previously able to purchase booze, and that was the beer store and the LCBO. A number of beer store locations have shut down since, with the union representing workers blaming it on the change. In its most recent announcement, issued last week, or last month still, the beer store announced that 10 locations are set to shut down on August 10th. Closures are also set to happen on July 6th and July 20th. Quote, "We made the difficult decision to close these retail locations. We will continue our focus on what we do best: ice cold beer, great customer service, and a world-class recycling program that last year returned more containers than we sold." And this was said by Ozzy Ahmed, the vice president of retail at the beer store, said in the announcement about the August 10th closures. Modernizing operations as changing marketplace is never easy. We know this will be difficult news for customers and employees. So we have a look as to what is going to be closing as of July 6th, July 20th, and August 10th. So closing effective the end of business day, July 6th. So I'm not sure if we did talk about a little bit of these already, but we'll just go over it again. Toronto, 609 Roehampton Avenue, 1580 Avenue Road. So those are the 2 in Toronto as of July 6th. Aurora, 14800 Yonge Street. Richmond Hill, 13469 Yonge Street. Oakville, 104 Lake Shore Road West, and 1011 Upper Middle Road. Coboconk, 6716 Highway 35. Cornwall, 1396 2nd Street East. Wyerton, 690 Burford Street. And in Windsor, 790 Goyou Street and 1780 College Avenue. So those are all the ones as of July 6th. Now, for the ones that are closing effective end of business day, July 20th, Toronto, 89 Allard Drive and 41 Mill Street. Markham, 5804 Highway 7, Ajax, 1953 Ravenscroft Road, Milton, 51 Millside Drive, and 1015 Bronte Street South. Azilda, 93 Notre Dame Street East, Levesque, 3rd Avenue and Main Street, and Ottawa, 900 Bank Street. So for the ones that are as this will all this be a newer list. We haven't talked about this list. So closing effective end of day business day, August 10th. Mississauga, 2925 Eglinton Avenue West, 3154 Huron Ontario Street, and 65 Queen Street North. Scarborough, 2934 Finch Avenue East, Vaughan, 1470 Major Mackenzie Drive, Tottenham, I think is how you say it, 55 Queen Street, Oakville, 1431 Rebecca Street, Cambridge, 130 Cedar Street, Amherst View, 4501 Bath Road, and last but not least, I think it's Iroquois Falls, 227 Cambridge Avenue. So that's the update with the beer store. We'll keep on it to see where it's headed, but that's it for that one. So this is again just a fun little thing. I've been hearing a little bit about this. I don't know if this is true, but I've been kind of hearing about it, so I kind of just wanted to talk about it because this is again kind of piggybacking off of our 90s episode that we did back on, I think it came out May 1st, or it was the beginning of May, the first week of May. Um, we talked about like our 90s shows and kind of, the good old days. So there's a little bit of rumblings of Everybody Loves Raymond reunion. So here's what this is all about. So Phil Rosenthal, who is I think he is I don't know what he is, but he's a part of the show, gives an update on Everybody Loves Raymond reunion. So he is giving fans an update on the reunion. He says, also, he created the iconic sitcom, opened out about the topic while chatting exclusively with Parade ahead of the season 8 premiere of Netflix's Somebody Feed Phil, which I think he is a part of. Quote, we're planning a reunion special. There's an exhibit in New York that started the second week of June, actually a 3-month exhibit at the Paley Center, celebrating Raymond. Rosenthal, who's now 65, says before giving an update on where he stands with stars Ray Romano and Brad Garrett. And if you don't know who Brad Garrett is, he played his brother. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'm old. Quote, Ray and I have remained very close friends. In fact, our families are very close. The kids grew up together while we were making Raymond. They're now getting married, having kids of their own. It's unbelievable. We vacation together every year. And Brad, I don't get to see quite as much because he's in Vegas a lot of the time. He has a comedy club there, but yes, I love these people. We share this beautiful, wonderful thing together, and we're all so happy. He continued, we shared wonderful success together, including Emmy Awards. Syndication is a wonderful thing. We just feel so lucky, and whenever we see each other, it's a reminder of a wonderful time that we've had together, laughing and having fun and meaning something to people. We know how rare this is in life to have, and so we treasure it. While Rosenthal has traveled to all corners of the earth for his Somebody Feed Phil docuseries in which he samples cuisine from all over the world, the Critics' Choice Real TV Award winner tells Parade that there are still a few stateside cities he'd love to explore. We don't talk about this. That's more about the show that he's doing currently. So yeah, there does seem to be speak of a reunion, kind of similar, I guess, to like what Friends ended up doing. I don't know how much of a reunion it can be. I mean, we'll have, Ray Romano, we'll have Brad Garrett. I don't know the name of his wife. We'll have the wife and potentially the kids. But like the main reason for Everybody Loves Raymond, which I did kind of briefly see an article about this, or I read a headline anyways, where Ray Romano is kind of talking about there will never be an Everybody Loves Raymond. Or was it Brad Garrett? It might have been Brad Garrett who said it. There will never be an Everybody Loves Raymond because the the reason behind the show was the parents. As we know, the parents have now passed away. Um, I mean, the father passed away many years ago, and I know that well, the mother passed away many years ago as well, but she um was after him. So it's it's just like it's just not gonna be the same. The whole purpose of this was having them live across the street from the parents, them doting on Ray while I can't remember what the brother's name was in the show, what Brad Garrett's name was in the show. Um but him kind of getting the end of the stick, even though he lives with them and does everything for them really. But it needs that. And we'd always say do not have that, and no one can replace the parents of that show. So a show should never a reboot of the show should never happen, or a continuation of the show should never happen. But I'm for a reunion. I'm just curious as to like, it's not gonna be it'd be great to see everyone together. It'll be great to kind of hear, the famous "Everybody Loves Raymond." It'll be great, but I don't know. It's just you need the parents there, and obviously they won't be there. So, anyways, we'll see how that goes if it actually does happen. But anyways, let's move on to the next. So this is again an interesting thing. I obviously have not talked about this before because this has long been over in the sense of I'll just kind of say here, we're gonna be talking about Gary Coleman here. Um, if you don't know who Gary Coleman is, he was in an 80s classic. What's the name of the show again? It might be in the article, but it's what you talking about. It's it Different Strokes. That's it. Yeah, I think it was Different Strokes. But anyway, we're gonna be talking about Gary Coleman. Um, and kind of some things that have been kind of coming up. Now, in case you don't know, Gary Coleman's been dead for quite some time. So this is really interesting. This is coming up like easily like a decade or a frig more since his death. But here we go. So this is as of June 17th. So Gary Coleman's ex-wife, Shannon Price, to take a lie detector test amid suspicion surrounding the actor's 2010 death. So scratch that. It's been 15 years. Shit. Um, so the search for the answers for his death is still continuing. I didn't know we were still looking into this. 15 years past his death. But anyway, the new A&E series Lie Detector Truth or Deception, so it's not even like a real thing, but if it goes if it comes versus deceptive, then we got something to work with. But it will put the late actor's ex-wife Shannon Price in the hot seat. The 2-hour premiere, hosted by investigative journalist Tony Harry, is set to air on July 10th, more than 15 years after Coleman died inside the Utah home that he and Price shared. Coleman's ex-wife Shannon Price agrees to take a polygraph test to address persistent public suspicion regarding her potential involvement in his death, even though she was never charged in connection with it. The episode revisits the circumstances surrounding Coleman's passing and explores whether Price has been misjudged by public opinion or whether the results raise new questions. So, in case you don't know, if you're really young and have no clue, the Different Strokes star and Price got married in August of 2007, but divorced the following year, although they continued living together. That's interesting. Didn't know they divorced. In May 2010, Coleman suffered an intracranial hemorrhage after falling in his kitchen, and 2 days later, after being placed in a medically induced coma, Price removed him from his life support. Many people have expressed concerns about her decision in the years since, including his former partner, Anna Gray, who claimed in a Peacock documentary that Coleman, quote, had an advanced healthcare directive where he stated he wanted at least 2 weeks of care before any plugs were pulled. So then why were they pulled? Price also participated in the special, which aired in February as a was titled Gary. She stated that she was in bed when she asked Coleman, who was born with the congenital kidney defect, to make her food after he got home from dialysis. I'm fine. After hearing a big loud boom, she explained that she found Coleman, who was 42 years old at the time, in a pool of blood in the kitchen floor. In a recording of her 911 call reporting the incident, Price could be heard refusing to listen to the operator's instructions to help her former husband. Price has vehemently denied any wrongdoing, saying in the documentary that she, quote, would never hurt my husband ever. In an interview later that month, Inside Edition chief correspondent Jim Morit asked Price why she didn't try to help Gary after he fell. Quote, I did help him. I actually had to run around looking for a towel because we didn't have any in the downstairs bathroom. What people have to understand and realize is this is the first real traumatic situation I ever had to witness. In 2010, Santa Quinn Police Chief Dennis Howard told people that, quote, there was absolutely nothing suspicious about Coleman's death and there was no criminal investigation going on. Coleman's death certificate also listed his manner of death as an accident. So, Lie Detector Truth or Deception, if you're interested, premieres on July 10th, which may or may not be before or after this, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed by new episodes every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, beginning July 17th. So, interesting stuff. I mean, yeah. So I'm going to, again, I haven't really been talking about this per se, because I kind of wanted to see what was going to happen with this. But let's talk about Karen Reed and her second trial. So we're going to go through it. This is all on CNN. So if you kind of understand how CNN kind of does their stuff here, this could be kind of like all over the place a little bit, but here we go. So she was acquitted of murder, in case no one knows about this. Again, this was a month ago, or slightly a month ago. Karen Reed, the Massachusetts woman accused of drunkenly striking her off-duty police officer boyfriend and leaving him to die in January of 2022, was found guilty of drunk driving, though she was acquitted of the most serious charge of second-degree murder. So Reed is getting probation. She will serve 1 year of probation for the conviction of drunk driving. Because Reed is a first-time offender, the judge agreed to the year of probation, which was the Commonwealth sentencing recommendation. She thanked her supporters outside the courthouse. Reed spoke to a loud and boisterous crowd of fans, most dressed in pink and firing off pink confetti. Quote, I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team financially and, more importantly, emotionally for almost 4 years. So, I mean, I haven't really talked about my thoughts and feelings or whether I think she did it, what I think could have happened, but I think it's a simple one. I mean, okay, the voicemails as a choice. Okay, she's cuckoo, um, but she was also drunk, right? These everyone here was really freaking drunk. Do I think something could have potentially happened inside the house and they left him outside? Um, if I'm a conspiracy theorist, maybe I might think that. I think there are some interesting things with like I think it was was he a an FBI agent or ASF agent or whatever, but who kind of may potentially have had the hots for Karen or something. Do I think there could have been something there with him? No. Do I think the son of this one of these people who he had an issue with could have potentially done anything to him? No. But do I think Karen Reed purposely hit him with her vehicle? No. Do I think she could have potentially hit him accidentally with her vehicle? Sure. Absolutely. I do think that's possible. But it's about the intent. Was there intent behind that? I don't think so. Um, you know, the voice messages though, could she have been trying to create an alibi for herself? Sure. Do I think she was actually doing that? No. Only because why would you send voicemails like that? If anyone who kind of knows of the true crime world and kind of knows what it sounds like when someone is trying to create an alibi for themselves, they're pretty calm. They're almost putting on an act. She was not putting on an act, y'all. She was pissed. Um, and they were just not doing well. So I feel, I wish there were more better answers for his family. For the kids he took on, um, his niece and nephew, I really do wish there was a better outcome for them. Because like you're not gonna sit there and really think he really just truly froze in the snow. He could have passed out. He could have I mean, I don't know if there's any proof of vomit, but he could have drowned in his own vomit. Anything is possible here. They were, like I said, drunk. Now, I know like the autopsy report kind of was really saying, he looked like he was in a fight. Um, so that's the thing where I'm just like, was that something then happened to him? Who knows? Maybe someone and I don't know, but I don't know. I think there's a lot still that maybe I am a conspiracy theorist and I can see the possibility of something happened in the house. With the choices of searching on the internet of, how long can you die in the snow or in the cold or die from hypothermia or whatever the search was. And, there's that and those, there are anything is plausible in this scenario. But in the end of the day, do I think she killed him with intent? No. Do I think she, like I said, could have killed him without intent and it was an accident? Sure. They're all drunk. So I don't know. But yeah, she's acquitted. Um, I don't know what else to say besides that because at the end of the day, yes, she may be acquitted of second degree murder. Um, but there's still a man who lost his life. So there's no happiness, no celebration here. It's just, another chapter done. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. I think we're going to be wrapping it up pretty soon here. Um, I think I think we have three articles at this point here, that we're going to do. So we'll wrap it up there. So new laws and rules are coming to Ontario this month in July. So several new laws and regulations in Ontario will be going into effect, which will affect everyday tenants, delivery couriers, and individuals with disabilities who require financial support. From landmark bylaws to new protections for rideshare workers, here are all those significant changes you should be aware of. So again, these are all of the laws that are taking effect in Ontario in July of 2025. So, new renoviction bylaw. So, back in November, Toronto City Council adopted a rental renovation license bylaw, which we have talked about on this podcast, to prevent bad faith evictions and protect the city's tenants from renovictions. This term applies to situations in which a landlord refuses to allow a tenant who has exercised their right of first refusal to return post-renovation illegally raises the rent on a returning tenant or does not undertake major renovations after evicting renters. This results in the displacement of tenants, the permanent loss of affordable market rental housing, and contributes to rising homelessness in Toronto. The bylaw, which is set to come into effect on July 31st, 2025, requires landlords to obtain a license before starting repairs or renovations that require tenants to move out of their rental units under the provincial 913 process. To receive a license, landlords must follow the bylaw requirements, which require notifying tenants, providing them with compensation or accommodation plans, and offering them to return after the renovations have taken place. Before submitting a license application, landlords must obtain all necessary building permits and approvals and have a qualified person confirm that vacant possession is required for the renovations to take place. A qualified person must be licensed by the Ontario Association of Architects or Professional Engineers Ontario. In cases where a tenant chooses to return, the landlord must agree to provide either temporary comparable housing at similar rents or agree to pay monthly rent gap payments if the tenant finds their own temporary housing. In cases where a tenant chooses not to return, the landlord must provide severance compensation equal to 3 months of rent gap payments, and this payment must be made before the license is issued. Toronto building inspectors are set to monitor compliance with the bylaw throughout the renovation process, and if non-compliance is found, landlords might be subject to penalties. Fines may include up to $1,000 for failure to submit a license application within 7 days of issuing an N13 notice, up to $10,000 per day for continuing offenses, and up to $100,000 for evicting tenants without completing renovations or failing to follow the approved plans. So, new protections for digital platform workers. So, Ontario Digital Platform Workers' Rights Act is set to take effect on July 1st, 2025. So, it's already in effect as we're talking, which introduces a range of new protections for workers in digital platform based services like Uber and DoorDash. The new protections apply to workers and operators of digital platforms, regardless of their employment status under the Employment Standards Act. Under the regulations, operators must pay at least the ESAs, that's the Employment Standards Act, prescribed minimum wage for each worker assignment, provide details about how worker pay is calculated, and establish recurring pay. Operators will also be prohibited from withholding tips, and workers cannot be removed from digital platform access without written notice, except in cases that involve public safety or legal restrictions. Next, first payment for new Canada Disability Benefit, which I was talking about this with my mother today. So, the new Canada Disability Benefit aims to help financially support people aged 18 to 64 with disabilities, and annual payments are set to begin July of 2025. The first month of eligibility for the benefit is June, and applications are set to open on June 20th, so they are already open. First payments will begin the following month for applications received and approved by June 30th. The amount individuals receive will depend on their income and the income of their spouse or common law partner. The maximum amount for the benefit for the July 2025 to June 2026 payment period is $2,400 a year or $200 per month. So that's basically it for that. So if there's anything there you can kind of take part in, definitely take part of that. Next one, we haven't again really been talking about this because it's kind of one of those things that have, started back in December. It was kind of hard to follow. Plus, it was like we were in the middle of our Christmas series. We don't really want to talk about the Canada Post strike, but obviously the looming, are they or aren't they going to strike again, has kind of been happening. But Canada Post reaches a deal with second largest union. Negotiations continue with CUPW, though. So, Canada Post says it has reached a contract deal with its second largest union, while negotiations continue with the Canadian Union of Postal Workers. The Crown Corporation says the new collective agreement with the Canadian Postmasters and Assistants Association comes after 18 months of negotiations, the same span of time it has been in talks with the CUPW. The Postal Service says the agreement with the CPAA covers about 8,500 employees who mostly manage post offices in rural Canada. It says the new agreement includes an 11% wage increase over 3 years, retroactive to the start of 2024, including a 6% increase in the first year, 3% for 2025, and 2% in 2026. Canada Post is still trying to reach a deal with CUPW, its largest union representing about 55,000 postal workers. Updates last week from the two sides indicated they were struggling to make progress on talks, while the union remains in a legal strike position with all members under an overtime ban since May 23rd, which again, you know, I see no issue with that part, honestly, but that's basically it. If there is an update with Canada Post by August, then we'll talk about that there. But let's move on to the last article that I'm going to be doing here about myself. And that is that some AccuView contact lenses are being recalled. This is as of the day I'm recording this, June 20th. So let's get to it. So Health Canada says a voluntary recall has been issued by Johnson & Johnson Vision Care over several models of one of its AccuView contact lenses. So a total of 13 models of the AccuView Oasis Max 1-Day multifocal contact lenses are affected by the recall, with people advised to contact the manufacturer if more information is needed. The recall is due to a high density of microbubbles that could cause visual disturbances. The microbubbles, also known as microscopic voids within the contact lens, were found in limited lots, and Health Canada says while it poses no medical harm, it could cause visual disturbances, particularly in low light conditions. Lenses with the lot or serial number of um, I'm going to spell it. It's Senofilcon, but that is spelled Senofilcona, with a varying range of prescriptions are affected by the recall, with the full list available on Health Canada's website. I'll click that in a second, see if I can kind of give you a rundown if I so can. The recall began on June 12th. However, it is not advised how many affected products there might be, nor a time frame for affected lenses. So let's just take a quick look here and see kind of what's here. So yeah, they're all here. So I'll just kind of go through them very quickly so that you can, check everything you have in case you need to. So AccuView Oasis Max 1-Day multifocal contact lenses. Again, the lot or serial number of this is the Senofilcon, as I've spelled already, and the other one, I should say Senofilcon A 2.25D. Model catalog number is V00D228. Next, AccuView Oasis Max 1-Day multifocal contact lenses. Lot or serial number is that Senofilcon A 5.25D. Model or catalog number is J003QDG. Next, AccuView Oasis Max 1-Day multifocal contact lenses. Again, the serial or lot number is a Senofilcon A 2.00D. Model or catalog number is J003Q72. Next, AccuView Oasis Max 1-Day multifocal contact lenses. The Senofilcon A 7.25D with the model or catalog number of J003, or I should say 003 QCV. Next, again, I'm not going to continue saying the whole AccuView thing because the names are pretty much the same. So this one, the lot or serial number is Senofilcon A 2.00D, which I feel we've talked about already. That's J 003QCD. Next one has a lot number of Cenophilicon A4.75D with the catalog number of J003QD9. Next one has a lot or serial number of Cenophilicon A3.00D with a model number of J003QCQ. Next one is Cenophilicon A 6.75D with a model number of J003QBT. We're almost done here. We have two more. Next one is Cenophilicon A 2.75D with a model number of J003QCG. Next one is Cenophilicon A2.50D with a model number of J003QCM. I think there actually is, there's only three more. There's only three more. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I was wrong. Next one, Cenophilicon A 5.75D, serial number of J003QDK. Next one with a Cenophilicon A7.50D. Model number is J003QBX. And the last one, Cenophilicon A2.00D with a model or catalog number of J003Q73. All right, that is it, guys. We won't need to say much more here. Don't know if I'll be coming in with any more after this. It just depends on what we get between now and when we record that next episode. But we'll take a break from just me and we'll head on over to discussion with Mikel.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Coldplay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a
Okay.
lot happening with Coldplay too,
Mhm.
here in Canada when they were here.
Mhm.
Not so much Coldplay themselves,
Mhm.
but just the mess that was kind of going on with getting to and from the shows.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I heard such great things about the performance, like the concerts and everything.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think they were here for 4 nights and it was split
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
But yeah, I heard great things.
Yeah. I heard great things. Well, that's what I heard too.
Oh,
Like I heard a lot of great things as well. Like the concert, the performance, like
yeah.
people were talking about. I'm not talking about the incident that happened, but like
Oh,
the
we'll
concert
talk
in
about
general.
that in a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. Jesus
yeah.
Christ. Okay. Listen, while Coldplay is doing what they do best,
Mhm.
okay, there the for those people, first of all, if you don't know what we're talking about,
Yeah.
where have you been? You've been clearly on an internet detox
Yeah,
for a
it's been
couple weeks.
yeah, it's been couple
But
of days. Yeah, it's been a couple of days and
it's been at
this has
least,
been talking about. Yeah.
yeah, it's okay. Now,
Go ahead.
it, I will implore everybody, if you don't know what we're talking about, please
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
You can find the video. It's like 30 seconds. It's amazing. It
So
gives everybody
so
life.
well I watched a lot of videos basically. So basically
Hmm.
I believe that the camera person who did that,
So, yeah,
the
so
kids.
basically they're doing a jumbotron. I think there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a song of like where they're like they do this. I don't know
Yeah.
what song it was,
It she
but there's a
it
song that
was
they do.
it,
They
it was a woman that like basically just did the whole kiss count thing with the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that whoever is doing the jumbotron, I don't care so much
yeah,
about that. But there's a
yeah,
particular point of which they're doing the jumbotron to one
yeah.
of the Coldplay songs. Which song
Uh-huh.
it is, I don't know,
Uh-huh.
but they're doing it to one of the songs. And these two people in the
Uh-huh.
kiss cam, the man's holding on to her. You're thinking, oh,
Yeah.
such a sweet moment.
Mhm.
Nope, because the woman
Mhm.
literally, they freak out. You can tell on their face.
Mhm.
The woman turns around, faces the opposite way from the
Yeah.
camera,
I mean,
and the man
that's
just does this
down.
slow elevator
Mhm.
down
Yeah, yeah,
so
that's
that he
down.
can't
Yeah.
be seen.
Mhm.
So I think I have their names, but
Yeah.
he was a CEO. He no longer is. He has resigned, but he
Mhm.
is a CEO of a company. I think it's called Astronomer or something like that.
Astronomer. Yeah,
Yeah,
astronomer. Yeah.
he was a CEO. She's the HR director,
Yeah.
and they've been having an
Better. Yeah.
affair.
Yeah. Chief people officer. And yeah,
Mhm.
she was people. Well, that's what it says on her. Yeah.
Now, my biggest thing as a person who has been cheated on by w with a woman who knew I existed, this woman knew clearly that he is a
Mm-hmm.
married man by the way she reacted. Um, and to me, that makes you just as horrible as him. Mind you, he's the one
Mm-hmm.
that owes the loyalty, so he is way up there in the stratosphere of
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
suck,
Mm-hmm.
but she's
Mm-hmm.
right there with him. Because as far as I'm concerned, I give passes to women who had no freaking clue. No clue. I give you
Mm-hmm.
passes because that man is taking advantage of his wife and you. But when you know and you're still involved with this person, he's not only in a relationship, but he is married with kids. You are a horrible person. You not
Yeah.
only because you want he's so amazing that you're gonna wreck a home.
Uh-huh.
It's really worth it to you to wreck a home.
Hey.
You're horrible. I don't
Hey,
know
there.
what has happened with her job, but
Mhm.
he's resigned, like I mentioned,
So yeah, there hasn't been any type of update
with her.
with her. Like her
Yeah, she's
name
been very
is
quiet.
yeah, so like I'm guessing she's just, staying quiet. Uh
It's maybe for the
and,
best because
and then
I have his
basically
statement here ready to read when you're done.
the statement don't read too much until there has been like a lot of fake statements.
No, 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 no. It's his statement.
His, his statement, which
He released a statement. Maybe 2, 3 days after this happened, or maybe 4 days after this happened, he released a statement. This was before it was announced that he resigned, but he released a statement, and it's completely tone deaf. Um,
he
so
yeah,
I'll read it in a
I saw
second.
I saw the statement and then
Mhm,
I know which statement you're talking about. TMZ confirmed it, and
mhm.
and he confirmed it was fake. He
It
responded that yeah,
I don't believe him, and I don't
it's
believe TMZ either. TMZ is not exactly of the news source that I would trust. I
yeah,
would need that from
the
someone else.
the thing is that they also released a clip too.
Mhm.
TMZ also released a clip that they were
It's
like
a clip
either
of what?
both like the CEO and the chief people officer were either
Saying
kissing
what?
or saying something behind the ears. They had more footage. So
Sure,
they
fine, that's
yeah,
fine, but it still
yeah.
doesn't change the fact that I don't believe him, that
Mhm,
he's saying the statement isn't real. Because I think the reason why I can't believe it is
mhm,
because he got such a bad reception for the
mhm,
statement that I
mhm,
can see him 'cause let's face it, guys, he's not exactly a person who can be trusted,
mhm,
clearly, because he can't even not cheat on his wife.
mhm,
So, as far as I'm concerned, I think he realized I got such a bad reception for this because I'm not only this not only is this tone deaf, but I'm trying to blame Coldplay.
mhm,
Um, so I think because he realized it got such a bad reception that he could try to retract it and say, I didn't do that. That's not me. That's fake. That's why I don't believe it
mhm.
personally. Um,
I mean, it's been, and like I said, it's been debunked. So like, I'm just being
no,
cautious.
I hear
So
what
like,
you're saying,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
also saying from another
So
perspective
yeah,
of like I he I believe you that he
yeah,
said that it's
yeah,
been
yeah,
debunked,
yeah.
but I'm saying I don't believe him that he
You
didn't
don't
write
believe?
that statement. That's what I'm saying.
Mm,
Because it's like,
mhm,
I think he realized that it wasn't accepted or the
mhm.
statement got such a bad reception, whether it's he actually did write it or someone else did or whatever.
I mean, like the thing is, it just like like when I read I read the statement as well. Like,
Mhm.
all right, don't get me wrong. it just
Mm,
doesn't. Yeah, it sounds like someone like he'll be tone deaf, but like
mm.
a CEO like that is really that tone deaf. You think you would say some things like that, and then towards the end,
'Cause he could be a
repeat a
narcissist.
lyric from a
That could be
song?
yeah, because he could be a narcissist.
Uh,
That's where I say someone is being tone deaf, and in a
mhm,
situation like this, it comes across to me
mhm,
as I'm not saying you're a narcissist, but
mhm,
I'm just saying with what we saw, and I think there's been rumors, I don't know how truthful it is, but I
go ahead.
wouldn't be surprised either that there's been, like, potentially other women he's had affairs with. Um,
I wouldn't put it past
I
me.
wouldn't put
I
it
would.
past him that there's been
eh,
other women in his
So
life in the past.
so the chief people officer name is Christine Cambit. So like that's
Mm.
her name, and then
Also,
yeah,
before you finish,
yeah.
I'm getting conflicting things too. Is she married or single?
There's like been
It's been
mixture.
back and
Like I've
forth.
been like I said, I've been watching a whole lot of videos just to get this understanding.
I've been more into
There's
the
been people
memes.
saying that she's been like married, or
Yeah,
been
like, I
people
don't know if
that
maybe
been
she was married, but going through a
recently
separation.
divorced,
Yeah, like,
etc.
it's yeah.
Or
Which
newly
again, like,
married.
if you've been married, but you're now
Hmm.
going through a separation, like, I'm the kind of person, again, who's been through that process that's like,
Or yeah.
I don't care if you wanna date whilst going through separation because that
Hmm.
process can take such a long time.
Hmm.
Um, and then if you add, like, the complication of finances,
Yeah,
assets,
yeah, yeah,
kids,
yeah,
it can
yeah.
even take longer, right? So I don't care so much about that, but maybe don't have an affair with a married man while you're doing it, but anyways, continue with
Hmm.
what you were saying.
So yeah, basically, that this you confirmed the CEO's name, right? Andy Byron and then Christine Cabot. So like those are the
Mhm,
two people that are involved.
mhm.
So for me, when it comes to like workplace dating, I'm pro workplace dating. I understand it. I'm
I
pro
understand you
workplace.
think you might be pro workplace dating, but that depends on the
But did
company.
yeah, but in this
Yeah.
situation like this, like upper management,
Mhm. Be
I would say no,
no. Yeah.
but like but like at the end of the day,
Mhm,
if you are
mhm,
dating, just say dating,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
Be professional. Do it outside the workplace as much as
As much
possible.
as possible, right.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
be Don't make it
But
look like you guys are
That's
dating,
that's the thing though, because that's what
right?
I'm saying.
Yeah,
On one hand,
yeah,
yes, there's no issue with workplace, dating and
yeah,
all whatnot,
yeah,
but that also
yeah,
depends on
yeah.
the company's policies because there are companies
That too.
who
Yeah.
frown upon that. But then you add that extra layer of the fact
Hmm.
that he is a person in a higher position,
Hmm.
he's a
Hmm.
CEO versus she is what you
Hmm.
said, she's a chief
Chief people
she's a
officer. Yeah,
part of the HR
she's basically
department.
HR. Is basically
Yeah,
higher.
she's
Yeah,
part of the HR department, so she is
yeah.
an underling. There is that, like, power dynamic, right, from him to her. So he could be exerting his power s to, attract her, or there's also the other part of it that maybe that power attracts her. So there's that, and it can be a little bit sticky, but, um we're going to pretend that this is whether the company agrees with this or not,
Hmm.
um, we're going to say here that this was supposed to be, secret. You know,
Hmm.
no one's supposed to know because he's married and whatever. So, and this happens all the time. This is not like it's a new
Oh no,
thing
yeah. This is
that
not.
someone
It's
is
just.
dating an
Yeah.
employee, you
This
know.
is no, like not
It's like
dating. Okay. This is
having
okay.
an
I wouldn't say
affair.
yes.
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
having
So I.
extramarital affair with an employee.
Mhm.
It
I.
happens all the time. Some of these situations land people actually losing their lives sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, so my true
It's.
crime peeps, some cases out there, I'm sure,
Mhm.
um, that like that's happened, right?
I'm pretty sure it's happening right now with a lot of companies that we don't know and a lot of people don't know.
Uh-huh.
Like these people are just a face of it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they're just a face.
I did they
So
didn't
like
wanna be, but here we
yeah, they don't
are.
want to be, but
But
um,
the other thing too, like, I'm gonna say
go ahead,
this,
go ahead.
that's not so much about, like, them per se.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wanna obviously leave names out and stuff like that, but,
Uh-huh. Yep.
um, I know a person who worked at a law firm,
Mm-hmm.
and she was working for the particular lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up finding out from employees that he actually was having an affair with his previous assistant. His wife found out. His wife said, "Fire her. Fire her now." And the thing is, and this is the other part I was kind of saying to my mom, like, later on, it's like, there's no way that the employees of this company did not know that they're going on with an extramarital affair. There's
Mm-hmm.
no way, because
I yeah, yeah,
this
yeah, go on.
person who
Mhm,
was telling me about this
mhm, mhm,
was finding out from the assistants basically that whenever, like, they would he that she would this assistant would go into his office, close
mhm.
the door for hours. Come on, I think we all know what's happening.
Yeah.
And
See
she would have, like, leeway, like, "You can go off and have 2.5-hour lunch to go get your hair done," because he was paying for it.
mhm,
You know what I mean? So
mhm, mhm,
it's like and the other thing too, like, kind of what listening to podcasts, true crime podcasts where this has, happened and it leads to someone losing their life. 9 times out of 10, there is not an employee in that place that doesn't know that the husband is cheating on his wife with the employee. There's never a time where someone is like, "Oh, yeah, I knew something was going on."
mhm,
There's just never.
mhm.
So there's no
Yeah,
way in hell, and I'm not saying the employee should have told his wife anything. That's a weird situation to be in.
mhm.
I wouldn't know what I would do in that
No,
situation.
you
You stay
do
out of it because you don't wanna
you
wreck a
stay out of it,
home.
yeah, because
You don't wanna
it could
wreck a
cost you
home.
your job. Let things
Well,
play
you
out.
could do it anonymously. You don't have to
You
say, "Oh, I'm so and so." You could do it anonymously, and, like, that's one thing. Um, I don't know what I
you
would necessarily do, but I also know that I'm a person who has called a person before that I did not know
mhm,
and said, like, "They're preparing to fire you, and they're trying to use me to replace you." And it was, like, right around Christmas, and I felt horrible. And
so
I'm
wait,
like
so
and it so I'll go back and explain very
mhm,
quickly, but I was, through an agency trying to,
mhm,
get a
mhm,
position. This particular position was a for reception, I believe, and they were saying, "Oh, um, we wanna hire a receptionist, blah, blah, blah."
mhm,
So, obviously, I'm like, "Okay, well, what's, like, the reason that you're looking to hire a reception? Maybe it could be completely innocent why this is happening, right?"
mhm,
But the recruiter was basically telling me, "Oh, yeah, like, don't say anything to the receptionist, like, the what position being hired for,
mhm,
because, like, they're replacing her." And this was, like,
mhm,
around Christmas,
mhm,
and I was
mhm,
like,
mhm, mhm.
"This is horrible." It felt very underhanded. Um, and I'm just like, I don't know if I wanna be a part of this. And
Mhm.
honestly, I'll say this straight up, this particular law firm was always a little bit sketchy to me. So maybe
Yeah.
that's probably part of the reason why I did.
Mhm, mhm,
But
mhm,
I remember saying, I don't wanna be a part of this. I am not that desperate for a job. Surely I was, but I'm
mhm,
not that desperate for a job because what are the chances that you're not gonna do the same thing to me?
mhm,
So I called reception. I called because obviously the first point of contact is reception. So I called and I said, "Listen, I'm being offered an interview for your position because they're planning to let you go." And she
mhm,
thanked me. She's like, "I had a feeling.
mhm,
Thank you very much." And it was literally like 3 weeks before Christmas.
mhm.
This is a time where people are going and buying gifts for their kids, their family, whatever. And I'm just like, I don't want no
Yeah.
part of this. My mom did the same thing too, to a
Yeah,
different actually, it might have been
yeah,
the same
yeah,
company.
yeah, and that's why I think people should just you can do this anonymously, but I
Yeah,
would
yeah, no,
generally
I
stay
did
out of it
anonymously.
because at the end of the day, you can just probably like send a note and just tell the tell them that like
Yeah. For
outside
me,
of
my biggest
workplace,
thing was
but
I wanted her to start looking for a job and
yeah,
be
yeah,
prepared to get ahead
yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
but
yeah.
stay out
But
of it.
this,
Let it play out. Let them
yeah, I don't know.
let it come to light. Whatever.
Yeah, because everything that's in the dark will
What?
come to light for
Yes,
sure,
yes.
clearly.
So
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't know what I would do. Maybe it's more of like I don't know if I'm in that situation, I'll see how like what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, because again, like I have been in that situation
yeah,
where it's like you're with someone that you think you're planning your future with, and then you find out he's been like he or she's been doing whatever behind my back. Like it's
yeah, yeah,
devastating.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
when there's kids involved and
Mm-hmm.
there's, all that stuff's in like together and all that. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's a lot more
yeah.
complicated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand 100%. It's complicated, and these
Yeah.
type of situations. It's probably happening. Like I said, it's probably happening right now, like in the situations. But there's
Yeah.
probably a lot of like if they didn't react, like if these two didn't react the way they react on on the kiss cam, like if he didn't
Mhm.
duck down, and she
Mhm.
didn't turn around,
We
they
we
just
would
started
not be
hugging.
talking about them right now.
Yeah, we wouldn't be talking about that. Maybe somebody in like somebody in the front office would probably see them and say like, "Oh, I know those 2."
Maybe.
Like, did a this and that. That's probably their someone who's local, but like they reacted the way they reacted. So somebody, saw it,
Mhm.
posted
Mhm.
on social media and said, "Look at these 2. Da-da-da. Isn't it funny?" And plus, the I think the band leader said,
Chris
like,
Martin.
yeah, Chris Martin confirmed that he said this when they showed those 2 on the camera. Either they're having an affair or either they're shy on camera. He
Yeah.
confirmed it. Yeah,
And the
on
thing like
camera.
too
That
that's
seemed
like
funny.
this like their reaction and being on camera has
Yeah.
become such a joke now that like
Uh-huh.
apparently like I haven't personally seen it, but my mom has said like comedians have so sorry, like I was saying for Zoom interrupted. Um yeah, so my mom has like again, I haven't personally seen it, but comedians have gone as far as to be like, "Hey guys, so you're on camera. You good? You you here with the people you're supposed to be here with?"
Uh-huh.
That's what it's kind of come to. And I think even Chris Martin, since all of this has happened, because they're still touring,
Uh-huh.
has even, I think recently, in whatever concert he's done recently, has actually come forward and been like, so make sure you're with
Uh-huh.
the people you want to be with
Uh-huh.
during the
Uh-huh.
trial song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, I just don't understand.
that's what
Like,
it's come to. Like it's
see, I
ridiculous.
don't condone. Yeah, I don't condone cheating,
Of
but
course not.
as a CEO,
Even more
if you're
so.
bringing your side piece or you're bringing your mistress, just saying, but why would you bring your mistress to a
Not
concert or a public place? Like, or, like, you don't do that.
not even
You,
if you're a
you don't.
CEO. If
Yeah,
you're any man
yeah,
having an affair
yeah.
behind your wife's back, not saying you should do this, come out to the light, y'all be dumb.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm,
still, if you're going to do that,
yeah,
I'm sorry, but your mistress has to stay in the dark.
mm-hmm,
You can't bring her out into the public
yeah,
and be shocked when you're seen. I'm sorry, but you just can't.
yeah. It's
And
just.
you can't pretend like you're this happy couple while your wife's at home with your sons, you piece of shit. Like,
Mm-hmm,
I'm sorry, but like, you can't do that. And that was the very first thing that I said. I mean, stay stupid. But the very first thing that I said is,
mm-hmm,
why is
mm-hmm.
he bringing his mistress to the Coldplay concert?
I
And the other thing I said is, maybe his wife wanted to go see Coldplay.
Yeah, maybe he's
Well,
not, maybe I don't know, maybe his wife is not. And I
who's
saw the
not a
pictures.
Coldplay fan?
Yeah, yeah.
Even if, like, listen, I haven't always been like a huge Coldplay fan my entire
Mhm,
life,
mhm,
but as I've gotten older and I've realized like their music is actually ridiculously fantastic,
mhm,
even if you're not like,
mhm,
you know, a fan of every single song they have, um,
mhm,
you're a fan of at least a few of their songs.
mhm.
And I mean, come on. Like, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
wouldn't? Like my
yeah,
favorite song by them is "The Scientist." I love that song. And it's just
yeah.
like
Uh,
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Like,
I don't get it.
but like his wife is better looking than
Well,
than
here's the thing.
I saw the picture. Yeah.
It's funny. The picture of her
Mhm,
taken for the company, I guess,
mhm.
she looks perfectly fine,
Yeah, younger, but like just
Maybe it could have been
yeah,
that she's younger.
yeah.
And then in the whole like Jumbotron situation, I'm like,
Aged her,
really?
yeah, aged her up like 20 years. Like she looks like she's 60. I'm like, oh shoot. But like she only been like I heard she's been on with the company for like 9 months. Like the Chris
So then
Krista.
maybe it was just a bad angle. Maybe
Yeah,
it's just a bad angle. Maybe that's
yeah,
her LinkedIn profile picture. Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah,
But yeah. I mean, yeah, his wife is gorgeous. But
yeah,
again,
yeah.
it's just like
So the thing that
doesn't
well,
mean anything.
yeah. So the thing with his wife, as soon as she like this escalated, the videos came, the people
Mhm,
went on her Facebook
mhm.
and sent her the videos and just like commented
Just
on
flooded her.
random pictures. Yeah, blah blah
Mhm,
blah. Just yeah.
mhm.
As soon as she saw that, she removed the last name of her husband's name.
Good. To hell with
So
him.
yeah. So
And the thing
basically,
is that,
yeah, yep,
I hope she's gonna, in time, obviously take her time, figure this out.
yeah,
This is a lot all at once.
yeah.
Like, literally, her life blew up in a matter of seconds.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
obviously
she
take the
also,
time that she
yeah,
needs to figure all this out.
yep.
But I hope she does go through with divorcing him. I hope she
Oh
goes
yeah,
through with getting
she,
custody of the kids if that's what
yeah.
she needs to do. I hope she gets every last dime out of him
So yeah,
because this is ridiculous.
she also responded like I think a day after she took a little
Mhm.
bit of a time after like that all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
happened
yeah.
within all that happened within a day. So she removed the name and then like she took her time with like thinking about it and then the next day she responded with a long paragraph basically saying that she's like she's hurt and etc this and that she's been through a lot with the husband,
Which makes me
and
think
she's
he's
looking
cheated
to
on her before.
yeah, she's looking to divorce.
Good.
Yeah, she probably it probably has
He's
happened.
100% cheated on her before.
Yeah, yeah, it probably has happened, but she just
And
didn't
again, I
like
feel like men like him,
approve.
especially like CEOs
Yeah.
or just men in power,
Mhm,
feel like they are entitled to have
mhm,
whatever, whomever,
mhm,
doesn't matter. Like, I'm allowed to have what I want. Doesn't matter if I'm married. Like,
mhm,
who cares? It's just whatever.
mhm.
So I would not be surprised that he has cheated on her multiple times.
Yeah, yeah, and
Multiple
she
times. I imagine
probably
women
kinda
gonna come
had a
out the
hint.
woodwork.
She probably kinda had a hint, but she just didn't have too much
Or
proof.
or she could have had hints that he could have been cheating. She could have
Yeah,
even had a hint about this particular woman he was with.
yeah,
But I imagine in my mind that
mhm,
she's at least found out of 1, 2, or maybe even 3 other women in his past.
yeah,
I would not be surprised by that either.
yeah,
Um, and I wouldn't be surprised that, like, yeah, she had an inkling of this one, even if she
yeah,
didn't know for
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
who it was or
mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, like, I would be going after him for everything that he's worth.
Yeah,
And I would say, "Here, honey, he's yours. Go have him. You want him that
mhm,
badly? Here you
mhm.
go. Here he is."
Yeah, well, I'm gonna think she's aiming at half, but like I wouldn't be surprised she's aiming at everything. But obviously he's gonna fight,
Oh,
and
yeah, of
obviously
course he's
he's
gonna
gonna
fight.
probably gonna be like, yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he
it's
tries to
not like
sue
a
Coldplay and
yeah,
whoever is in charge of his
mhm,
concert of the
yeah,
concert. I would not be surprised if he tries to go after them for quote unquote violating his privacy. Listen, the minute
it's a
you enter
public
the
yeah,
arena, there
yeah,
is no more privacy.
yeah. It says on the policy of the I think the ticket or the if
It's
you order
probably
the
it's
ticket, yeah,
100%. It is a fine print to that ticket.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
very possible that because again, people who have done concerts, especially recently,
Mhm,
have been recording one show or two shows or three shows, whatever, and compiling it into some sort of documentary. So
mhm,
it's very possible. I'm not saying Coldplay's necessarily doing that, but they could have been, and we don't know. So not only the Jumbotron
mhm,
situation,
mhm,
but there could be filmmakers in there filming the concerts and potentially filming um people there for the concert. So there's all of that and as well. There is no privacy.
mhm.
So if you're there holding each other while listening to a song and you just happen to be caught on Jumbotron, I'm sorry, but like privacy, there's no privacy. And that's my thing. Where did your wife think you were? That's my question. Where did your wife think you were? Working late?
Yeah, probably
Working late?
a
Dinner meeting?
team building meeting. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
So like you
Uh,
would have gone to a 3+ hour
it's
concert
hard. It's hard work when you
and then
building a
what, potentially
team,
go back home with
having a
her?
meeting. You gotta build a
Ugh,
business, Tanika. You know,
listen,
like
if my man literally says to me, listen, I know my boyfriend's schedule, okay? He gets off at 3 o'clock. If my man is not home, latest
hmm
6:30, I'll give you 6:30, that's generous. 6:30 because I know he'll go to the gym. I know he has, like, a friend that he'll go see in the hospital. Sometimes he does other things, like, whatever. So, I know what he's doing. If your ass isn't in the door by 6:30,
hmm
we're gonna have a problem. 'Cause where
I
the hell were
mean,
you? Where the hell were you? That gives
true.
you 3.5 hours. Where the hell were you?
I mean, to be fair, like office work, like the
My my
CEOs
my
who
my
handle
boyfriend
who
doesn't do office work, so that's the other thing. What meeting?
there are CEOs. To be fair to all
Yeah,
CEOs,
no,
like
no, I
office work,
totally understand that. I
do
get that.
yeah, yeah.
But
But this,
how do you explain an after hours meeting that's
mhm,
running for 4, 5 hours? Because we know he's going back to her apartment afterwards,
hotel
or
possible,
whatever, depending on her situation.
yeah.
We know that's what's happening.
hmm
Unless you're a Minuteman, how do you explain that? Which maybe he was. Who knows? You know what? Yes, he was. His
mm.
ass just sucks so bad that he had a micro penis and he's a Minuteman. There you go. Because you suck,
I
sir.
don't know the way how they were clenching arms, and it doesn't seem like that. So like, it's just,
Hey, some
I
women are
listen,
perfectly fine with a micro
listen.
penis and a Minuteman. Not I, not me, not I. But I'm just
Mhm.
saying.
Uh,
But yeah, I
so yeah,
mean,
yeah. Like, and another thing too, women don't do this.
don't do this.
Don't work your way up to the top to do this. This is
No, I
scarring
don't
to
even
a
think
lot of
that's so
women.
much that's even what's happening because if
Yeah.
she's like an HR director of some sort,
hmm
like it's probably like there's only so far she can go, right?
hmm
HR director is, you know, you're like a step away, maybe a couple steps away from being like at the top.
Yeah.
But my thing, more so than anything, is she was probably swept up in him. Oh my God, he's so charming, and all of this nonsense. Oh, he's gonna leave his wife for me. No, he's not.
Uh,
No man in history has actually left his wife for the mistress. Okay? 9 times out of 10, he is staying with his wife and his kids. He's not leaving her for you.
So
He's not.
I feel like she's the type of woman that has done this before and
You
just
think?
try. Yes, because like there's
Why do
rumors
you think that?
there's rumors that she has a newly husband that is
Mm.
also a CEO as well.
Oh,
So
So she
basically
goes for like these, like she's
yeah,
going for the money.
yeah.
I mean,
I
I
would
don't
say
hate your
no, yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't hate the game
yeah,
necessarily,
yeah,
but don't
yeah.
go for married CEOs. Go for single or divorced CEOs. I don't know.
I've
Like, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I will never understand. Listen, I know men can be manipulative and all of that. Totally understand that.
Mhm.
But I will never understand women who will get involved with a married man. Sure, you might slip up. You might
Oh,
have sex with said married man and be
uh-huh,
like, ooh, that was
uh-huh.
bad. We all make mistakes, 100%. But I will never understand at that point when we go further past that and you're believing his lies of
Mhm,
I'm gonna leave my wife for you. Give
mhm,
me a year. I'm working on it. Oh, we're going through the process, but I'm still living at home. Oh, we're just staying in the same house for the kids, but we're going through the divorce. Oh, it's gonna happen. He's
mhm,
you. He is trying to have his cake and eat it too.
mhm, mhm.
And you're
Or
allowing him to.
mhm, mhm.
I will never get it.
So another thing too, she's also newly what do you call upgraded in the company?
Um, uh, Promoted
Promoted. So she was promoted
right before all this happened.
recently. Yes.
So so she's getting demoted
Yes.
to the
So like
furthest point of demotion.
she was sleeping her way to the top. So that's what I'm
Well,
saying. That's one of the reasons why I said
well,
don't do this with me.
clearly, clearly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, whether she was intentionally sleeping her way to the top
Yeah.
or she was just getting the benefits of sleeping her
Yeah.
way to the top,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, it's like again, we oh, we're as this is why men don't take us seriously. Listen,
Yeah.
we are trying to, as a gender, as the female race, trying to do better,
Mhm.
with getting what we deserve
Mhm.
without our way to the top, right?
Yeah.
We're more than our bodies.
Mhm.
We're more than that. And
Mhm.
we should not be basically selling our bodies in order to get to the top. And I don't know if that's necessarily what's happening here, whether she actually had feelings for him. Maybe there was love there. I don't know.
I feel like this probably either it was either both either low or she's probably trying to at
Or
her way to the top.
both.
Yeah.
Both. I
You
don't
know,
know. But it's like we should be doing better. Listen, I have been at my position for 8 years
mhm.
and I'm respected
Mhm.
without sleeping my way to the top, which that would
Yeah.
never fly in my place anyways. But like I'm just
Yeah.
trying to say, like, that
So
would never happen.
so how do you view women who do this? Because there's obviously there's women that just are still
Mm,
doing this right now, right? Like
uh-huh.
there's a lot of women who are doing this right now
Mhm.
under secretly in the
And
background.
listen, there are
Yeah.
men that are doing it too, but it's predominantly in
Yeah, that too.
women
Women
doing
and
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, how do I feel? Okay, so that's very nuanced
yeah,
question
yeah.
because so I'll try to give as much of a nuanced answer as I can. Um, on the one hand, if you are potentially falling into manipulation by the person you're having this affair with,
Mhm,
um, I feel for you. I feel for you because you're being you're having the wool pulled over your eyes
mhm.
by a man who has the power to control your
Correct.
employment
Yeah.
as well, right?
Mhm,
Um, and maybe to some extent you feel like you want to get out, but you don't know how. That's a form of abuse, and
mhm.
to be totally honest with you, it's a form of abuse in that case. Um, so I feel for you in that sense, but you know, you are better than that. You're better than this person who clearly doesn't respect his marriage, doesn't respect women, doesn't
Mhm,
respect boundaries, doesn't respect any
mhm,
of those things.
mhm,
and doesn't like, like you're better than that. And you should want to respect yourself more than to allow a man to mess with you like that because you're smarter than that. You're better than that. We didn't get to this point to be messed around with by powerful men. But on the other hand, when you have women, or potentially this could have been that, who are using their bodies for the purposes of getting to the top,
mhm,
and they lock eyes and they sink their teeth and their claws into the man that they're going to do this with. And you also doing that knowing he has a family at home and a wife and kids
mhm,
who are waiting for their father to come home and he's too busy with you.
mhm,
Um, yeah, you are the problem. You are the problem why women can't be respected, why
mhm,
women can't be believed in certain things. You are
mhm,
the problem. You're the reason why when a woman will go to to the police station saying, "I was raped by so and so," and that police officer turns to them and says, "Okay, so what were you doing? What were you wearing? Were you drinking?"
mhm, mhm,
You're the problem.
mm,
So that is where I'm at with that, and I don't know where this woman stands, but
mhm,
at the very least, you're having an affair with a married man knowingly. You knowingly had an affair with him.
mhm.
Like, I'm
So,
sorry, like, were you having sex with him right by the pictures of his wife and kids?
hmm, so would you work with a woman like that?
I wouldn't choose to
Yes.
work with a woman like that,
Mhm,
but at the same time, I don't how many of us actually really know that we are working with a woman like that, you know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm,
But I know I wouldn't choose to do that, no,
mhm,
because listen, I work hard without sleeping my way to the top, right?
mhm,
I work really hard, and like I said, I'm respected by my boss.
mhm,
Um, I keep things in check, and I do that again by proving myself,
mhm,
for the last 8 years.
mhm,
I worked very hard to get to where I'm at. So, it is kind of feels like a slap to the face when you have women or anyone really, a slap to the face to have people having affairs with people with, powerful people in the company to get themselves to the top. And they're getting all of the benefits of that. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm working harder than she is. The
mhm,
difference is I'm not doing it on my back. So it's,
mhm,
you
mhm.
know, it, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's
well,
very nuanced because I
mhm,
don't want to seem like I'm coming across judgmental,
mhm, mhm.
but it really depends on what the situation is.
Yeah, well,
'Cause at the
yeah,
end of
like,
the day, I feel for
there's
his
yeah,
wife and his
yeah,
kids.
yeah, me too, like, um yeah, this is gonna like, like, a lot of people will forget this, like, within, like, actually, like, the next month, I would say,
Oh, yeah,
but
it's gonna slow down for sure, but for
yeah,
now, we're gonna have fun
but
with it.
this is gonna be scarring forever,
Mhm.
like, this is gonna be a meme forever,
Forever.
like, whenever someone mentions, like, something that's come from The Office or whatever,
Mhm.
those 2 will show up. They're the face of it now. They're the face
Mhm.
of, workplace, I would say what's it? Workplace mischief, you would say? Workplace, uh,
Uh, uh, sure, we can say mischief. Not sure
or
where we
some
categorize that.
uh, or workplace power dynamic, I would say.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, between a woman and a man, right? And yes, it's gonna be out there, and it's gonna be hard for these 2 to get another, you know, like, high paid job or, management job at another place, because one good search at their name, and they're looking at this and be like, "Hmm, the employer is looking at this, I'm like, "Hmm, I see your name is plastered online."
Oh god, yeah, whenever they'll do a
Yes.
search on, yeah.
Yeah. quick
Yeah.
search.
They're
It's
not gonna
over.
want to
Yeah,
deal with them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
they're
maybe a couple years, they'll probably it will
maybe, but
go
in the
over.
meantime, like
Yeah,
Mr. CEO,
yeah.
is gonna run out of his money and now he's going probably gonna be going through a divorce process that's
Mhm,
expensive.
mhm,
So eventually he's gonna run out of money.
mhm,
And then our little HR director here, like
mhm.
I imagine you know, she's a little
Go.
person like the
Yeah.
rest of us. Times are
Mhm,
tough,
mhm.
and I'm sure she doesn't have much of a nest egg. And then what are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna get unemployment? If they fire you, maybe you can do that, but it only lasts for so long.
Mhm.
It's not
Well,
gonna last long
basically,
enough for this to blow over.
I don't think you get anything when you resign. I don't know how
No, not if you
America but
quit.
yes, I
Not
don't know
if you
how yeah.
quit, but if you're let go.
Mhm.
So I know obviously he's resigned, so he's not gonna get anything.
Yeah, so
But
yeah,
for
yeah.
her, I don't know if she's resigned
She
or if
hasn't
she
resigned it.
potential
Yeah.
or potentially she'll be let go. I imagine at the very least she's getting let go.
She
Um,
either getting let go. She's
her
probably taking some
options
time. She's probably
her
just taking
options are
yeah.
resignation or
Mhm.
laid off. Those are her options at this
Yes,
point with
'cause
this company.
I cannot see a company,
Oh no.
and
And
it's
like
gonna be so
and the
awkward for her to
employee
come
and
to work.
she's an HR.
Yeah,
Like no, she's definitely no longer going to be employed with this
yeah,
company.
yeah.
But again, like unemployment only lasts for so long. I personally, in terms of the job market, like obviously with social media, yes, by then it's going to die down.
Mhm.
But in terms of the job
Yeah,
market for
yeah,
her,
yeah,
um, no, she's screwed. She's screwed.
yeah,
And Mr. CEO can't protect her at this point
yeah,
because he's not going to have
yeah.
the
Because
money.
like, yeah, well, she's not gonna have money, and CEOs like that don't give a flying fuck about,
Oh, no. He's using you for the purposes for what he's using you
yeah,
for.
no,
Now that
no.
that's completely blown up, it's over
Usually,
now.
usually what will happen, possibly, like, the mistress will probably call him, like, "What do I
Oh,
do now?
100% she's been
What
calling
do I
him.
do now?" And then the CEO is like,
1,000%.
"You're on your own."
Yeah,
And
because what the hell is he gonna do for you now? But again, if she's been, like, money hungry as well or, like,
Mhm,
trying to, like, get herself to a top position, he's useless to her now.
mhm,
So, again, it's, like, depends on where we're at with, like, her motives
mhm,
for getting involved with like, we know what his motives are
mhm.
of sex.
Yeah.
Sex and a companion who's, like, not his wife, who's not hounding him about getting this or that done and taking care of
Mhm,
the kids and stuff like that. It's his escape.
mhm, mhm.
That no longer serves its purpose because there's no escapism with her anymore. So, they're done.
Yeah.
They're done.
They're
It's
both of them are
hilarious to
done.
me.
I so yeah, it's gonna be quite a long time for them to get another job. And
Mhm.
if so, it's gonna be like a lot lower, a lot lower, probably a lot lower job, like,
Maybe
probably
she can
manager,
work at Target or something.
possibly, and that's gonna
Maybe he
suck.
could work at Target.
Yeah,
Different Targets, though. Maybe
possibly,
different Target.
yeah,
Hey, maybe then actually you could work at Target and then you guys can actually have your love affair. No one
possibly.
cares at that point anymore.
Yeah, well, hopefully they humble themselves after this. Like, I heard the CEO was a real asshole to his employees as well. So like he was probably
That's not
really
surprising.
yeah. So like people
He has
who
a punchable face.
yeah
Real punchable face. He's gonna
yeah
punch him in the face. Yeah.
yeah. So
Like,
the
but again,
lesson
like that's
is
attractive to
yeah
you.
yeah
Someone who treats his employees
yeah
like
yeah.
a dick.
I mean, a lot of
That
women feel that's hot. Like
okay. Here's what I'll say. As a
like
woman.
that a person that owns the room.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, so go ahead.
As a woman, I will say when a man can be stern, but
Mhm,
there's times and places for that. I would not be turned on by you treating your employees horribly. Like, that would not turn me on personally. Um, like I was actually talking to this about a friend of mine, and not about this particular situation, but we were talking about 90 Day Fiance, and there's a particular person on there. His name is Andre. For those who watch 90 Day Fiance,
Mhm,
he's a real. He's an he's misogynistic. He comes from an Eastern European country, but he's very misogynistic. He's he basically called a woman who is not really part of the universe, but call a woman a bitch. And like he can very easily do stuff like that and be perfectly fine with it. And me, I'm like, if I was his wife, Libby, if I was his wife,
mhm, mhm,
I would have boxed him across his head and say, who are you calling a bitch? As
mhm,
a woman, who are you calling a bitch?
mhm,
Like, that's what, but she didn't. She didn't say anything. She didn't seem to think there was anything wrong with that. Like, I know he could be a little hyperbolic or whatever, and he has toned down, which doesn't say much, but he has toned down a little bit since, his earlier days on the series.
mhm,
But it's just like, as a woman, hearing him treat another woman that way or treating anybody that way,
mhm,
why is that okay with you? Why is that okay with you? So that's what I mean. Like, I will never understand being okay with him treating his employees who are, we're the reason you're getting paid and you're treating us like the hell. They'll never understand that.
mhm.
Never.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
are we
So,
done with this topic? Because we have another piece of we can talk about.
uh,
Not
yeah,
Trump, I
yeah,
promise. Not this, not
yeah,
this.
pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I have an update on Lisa Robinson.
Oh,
Another
another
one.
piece of
Another one.
article of Lisa
Mhm.
Robinson.
Mhm.
Is she suspended again?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe she still is from the last time, but
Uh-huh.
she
Uh-huh.
is seeking help with sanctions and pay cuts from Mr. Doug
Uh-huh.
Ford. Now she's reaching out to the premier to be like, help me. No, no. Like, he has other things to worry about. We have tariffs that we need to be thinking about being increased to 35%. Bitch, he don't
Premier.
have time for you.
So Ford. So Del Ford.
Doug Ford.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he has time for that. I don't think he
No.
right now because he
Other
has.
things to worry about.
Yeah.
But here's what the article has to say. So
Yeah.
Pickering Counselor Lisa Robinson is asking Premier Doug Ford to step in and address what she claims is ongoing political punishment and financial retaliation. Oh my God, being carried out against her by Pickering Council. In a formal letter to the Premier's office, the Ward 1 counselor said she has now gone a full year without pay for, quote, speaking out against waste, dishonesty, and backroom politics at Pickering City Hall. I've been called the Rob Ford of Pickering. Wait, bitch.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a second. No. I see.
Different.
At
Okay,
least.
Rob Ford had issues. There's no doubt about it. But
Yeah.
Rob Ford was for the people. Okay. And he wasn't a racist.
Yeah.
Mainly racially insensitive, but he wasn't a
Yeah.
racist.
Yeah.
You are a racist, but I'm the Rob Ford of Pickering?
No.
Get out of here.
No.
Let me continue. More times than I can count, not because of scandal, but because I speak up. I challenge corruption and I fight for the people. But and now I'm being financially strangled for doing exactly what I was elected to do. I want to know what that was because Jesus Christ. Robinson has written similar letters in the past, but has received no response. Council has imposed numerous sanctions on Robinson following reports from the city's integrity commissioner of principals and integrity. The Integrity Commissioner has investigated complaints and recommended sanctions against Robinson on 5 occasions in less than 2 years. Robinson attempted to have her name cleared through judicial review, but she lost the court case and instead has been ordered to pay $30,000, which she plans to appeal. The counselor also wants Ford and new municipal affairs and housing minister Rob Flack to review the conduct of integrity commissioners across Ontario. She wants the province to look into her belief that code of conduct tools are, quote, being weaponized to silence dissent.
Mm,
A full year without pay for standing up and telling the truth? That's not democracy. That's political punishment. This isn't just about me anymore. This is about every councillor, every town, and every voter in Ontario. If they can do it to me, they can do it to anyone, as they
mm,
should, if this is what they're doing.
mm,
Pickering Mayor Kevin Ash pointed to the June 23rd meeting when Pickering Council received a report from Principals Integrity concerning repeated council code of conduct violations by Robinson. We unanimously adopted the Integrity Commissioner's recommendation. I will continue to work every day on the priorities our residents have told me are important to move Pickering forward. Robinson is also asking to speak as a delegate at an upcoming meeting regarding the proposed Bill 9, which would allow elected officials to be removed by unanimous vote of council following investigation. If what's happening to me in Pickering is allowed to continue, and if Bill
mm,
9 passes, we are handing political elites the power to erase their opponents. Unless we're talking about criminal acts like sexual assault or fraud, it is
mm,
the voters, not council insiders, who should decide who stays or goes. Anything else is and undemocratic, and it sets a terrifying precedent for every municipality in Ontario.
mm,
Ash supports the proposed bill. I have been a vocal advocate in support of Bill 9 as it, not Bill 9, but Bill 9,
mm,
as it strengthens municipal governance practices through clear ethical and professional standards and empowers city councils across Ontario to remain focused on delivering for our residents. Robertson also claims Pickering is manufacturing a false narrative of fear about herself and the public, and said instead of facing backlash from her supporters, the city moved meetings online only. Since the beginning of the year, I've kind of talked about this a little bit, but we'll go through it again here just very quickly. Pickering Council and committee meetings have been held virtually after a video the city shared on YouTube and social media, which
mhm,
has since been removed, stated that over the past 2 years, the city has witnessed, quote, a growing infiltration of alt-right individuals, ideologies, and influences that have created an atmosphere of uncertainty, fear, and intimidation among council staff, residents, and the broader community. That wasn't about safety. It was about control, Robinson said. They're not afraid of threats, they're afraid of the truth. Go yourself. Okay, I'm done. That is it for me.
Yeah, she's not. She just
She doesn't get it.
doesn't get it at all.
Another narcissist. Narcissists never do get it. They think they do nothing wrong. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. So this ends this episode of the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available now on all podcast platforms. We also have a website called Tanika.
So, no, wait, that's not it. I did that last time.
Yeah, yeah.
Podcast.podpage.io.
All right. And where else are we at?
Facebook and Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod.
All right. And you can email us at mikeltanika@gmail.com. That is mikeltanika@gmail.com. So we talked about three top three topics on this bonus episode. So, guessing the thing with Drake and Jimmy Singh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing as well
And
as the
The
Coldplay
Coldplay
situa-
situation.
situation with the mistress and the CEO, and also Lisa Robinson just being Lisa Robinson. So, yeah, um, basically what I have learned from this episode is don't be a piece of garbage.
Basically.
So,
It's not that hard.
yeah,
It's not that
yeah,
hard at
yeah,
all.
yeah. All right. Okay. Anything you want to say?
No, I
Yeah.
think that's it.
All right. Okay. All right. So I'm Mikal, and
And I'm Tanika.
we're out until
Uh, Whenever I get this out, probably Thursday. So we'll say
Thursday.
that.
All right. Thursday. Peace, guys.
Bye.
Bye.